Okay, I was hoping it's gonna stay overcast today, but sun's come out. Okay, so for my truck, it's a 6.5 foot bed, so it's a standard bed. It's not the long wheelbase, but the width of the inside bed is just a little over 50 inches, about 50 1/4 inches. So got this truck tent to fit my truck. I also picked up a air mattress to go in there. Obviously, you gotta have something to sleep on. So we're gonna work on this, and while we're working on this, we're gonna go over masking your shop. But the big question, do I need to read the instructions first? I'm going with no. So let's get started. It's like a face mask. All right, looks like we got the tent poles and color codes, black, green, and gray. I think that's probably some significance with the color code. Where the storms lie. Now we know the door's going to come this way. So. All right, got the door. Just notice one thing, on my tent poles is damaged. Oh, maybe not damaged, maybe that's designed that way. Oh, it's designed that way. I guess these are tailgate straps. Uh-oh. Starting to get some extra parts here. What do you think the longest poles go on the diagonals? Finally. Looks like the fit and finish was perfect on it so far. And like I said, I've got an air match that's gonna go inside, so this should be really good. And I'm thinking, you know, if I get to a place where I've got to drive to my spot, I've only got 4 poles, I can take them down, fold it inside, put something on top. I mean, it's got all these straps, and if you're concerned about the straps scratching your truck, everything's plastic. The poles are fiberglass. They do have metal clips, but none of that contacts your truck. So I think I can take it down, disassemble it pretty quick. But most of the places I'm going to, I'll be driving in, camping, and I'll be able to hike to where I want to go. Like I said, if I can't hike, then I'm just going to take the poles down, fold the tent in. I'll lay something on top of the tent, and it won't blow out. So I think we'll be good there, and then I can just raise it up when I get back to the campground. But the other things I was wanting to talk about today real quick was masking your shot. And I know you guys are going to think I'm nuts, but I got some old 8mm tape of me shooting some does while they were eating acorns. And they didn't have a clue. Next time you're at a party, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, and someone's crunching something loud, talk to them. And see if they don't say, huh? I'm telling you, when deer are popping acorns, and I've heard them 10, 15 yards away, popping acorns, it's loud. So it minimizes their ability to hear. So yeah, I know you got very few opportunities to shoot. You can't time it, but a lot of times we're set up on feeding areas anyway. When the deer come in, if you see them popping acorns, time your shot to where they're chewing those acorns, and that will minimize them being able to hear the sound of your bow, the mechanics of your bow. Other thing too is weather. If you've got a slight wind, you can do that. Obviously not big gusts, because you don't want your arrow to veer off course. Leaves, dry leaves kicking up by the wind, and even the deer coming in, moving in and out. And maybe another deer's coming in and it's walking, crunching, and you can shoot then. Or if deer have got their attention on something else, you know, ideally they're perfectly broadside looking the other way and they can't hear you, but that doesn't always happen. But it's sometimes when you're hunting bucks and they're looking somewhere else at a doe or maybe another buck coming in, their attention's focused on that deer. And the attention being focused over there gives you the opportunity to make a shot without spooking them. So I'm just brainstorming things that you can do. I know things that I've done, like I said, shooting deer when they're eating, especially acorns, something that's loud and crunchy, is a good opportunity. And I know you guys think I'm nuts, but I've got, like I said, a couple of 8mm tapes where I actually shot 2 does, and they didn't have a clue. There was 2 really good shots. They didn't move. The arrow went right where I wanted it to go. And I probably didn't even aim low. I was aiming for the heart on both of those deer and actually hit the heart. One of the rare occasions that I did that. But there's certain situations or circumstances, as you get a little bit more experience, become more of a veteran hunter. And even as a beginner, keep this in your mind. If you get a little bit of background noise, it's going to minimize the deer's ability to pick up on your shot. So I just want to go over that real quick while I was putting up this Napier tent. Napier. It's made in Canada. It's still North America. I couldn't find anything made in the United States. I did buy my sleeping bag and everything else in the United States. I think there's only one sleeping bag that's still made in the United States, so I bought it. But this is what it looks like. So hopefully we'll be able to use this. Lord willing, we'll be getting on the road. I'm going to try to do a Kentucky hunt this year. I wanted to hunt in Kentucky for a long time. I've got a place picked out. And for all you guys out there and gals, you got that minimal amount of time. That's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the people that have, 5 to 10 days to hunt every year. You got family responsibilities. You got your job. You got all these other things going on. Taking care of your house, mowing, weed eating, stuff like that, painting, whatever you're doing. You got a minimal amount of time. We're going to focus on getting in, doing the virtual scouting, trying to narrow it down as much as we can. Then we get boots on the ground. We're going to do speed scouting, get things set up. We'll use trail cameras some cases we won't. Depends on how much pressure there is. And we're even going to be patterning other hunters. If other hunters are going to a certain area, that may be one area we want to avoid or either work around behind so they drive the deer to you. So we're going to be working on a lot of tactics this year. And the goal is to help become more proficient. So whatever time we spend in the field, we want to be maximized. We don't want to just be wasting our time out there, wasting all these hours sitting in the tree stand, whatever. Looking for food sources, looking for bottlenecks, benches, out-of-state hunts, in-state hunts. If you're hunting on private land, hunting on public, which I mainly hunt on public land. So we'll be looking at those different things, and we're going to be coming up with ideas and strategies and tactics to help all of us become better hunters. I'm not just wanting to show videos of me shooting deer. I want you to be able to have something that you can learn from. I'm not saying I'm good enough to educate you, but through my mistakes and my past experiences, I'm pretty much self-taught. Nobody in my family liked to hunt. Then let me tell you, it took me a long time to kill my first deer, and a long, long time to kill my first pope and young. And there's a lot of endurance put in there. So I've learned a lot, and hopefully I can share that with you. And like I said, for the average hunter, you only got a few days to hunt. We're going to be focusing on getting in, get the scouting done, getting set up, and making the harvest. Okay, real quick to summarize today's video. I purchased this Napier truck tent. Some advantages that I feel like that I'm going to have is it's going to be off the ground. I don't have to worry about finding a perfectly level spot. Don't have to worry about rocks, sticks, dirt, mud, the rain, all that stuff. I'll stay clean. The tent will stay clean. And being off the ground, I think is going to keep the dampness away and possibly keep you warmer. I've got an air mattress I can put in the back of that tent. That's my plan. So that'll make it real comfortable to be able to sleep in. And then you look at the other advantages are the fact that it's less costly than buying a camper shell. I didn't want something permanent on top of my truck. And after purchasing this tent, I still believe I can buy a bed cover, a fiberglass one. I've been looking at a few of those, and fold it up. Still be able to use the tent and then break the tent down, fold down my truck cover and take off. That's one of the disadvantages. Once you get up and camp, you got to break the tent down if you have to drive somewhere. Okay. So there's some pros and cons. Obviously, to doing that, obviously the space in your truck, you got your tent in there. Once you kill a deer, it doesn't matter. You're going to take the tent down anyway, whether you got a ground tent or a tent in your truck, and you're going to fold the tent up. It's going to be nice and compact, so you're going to have plenty of space once the tent's broken down. Obviously, once the tent's up, you got to have a place to put your other gear. So that's what I like about the Ram cargo box. This is basically store and go. So that's a sweet deal, especially when you're coming out of the woods with your bow or you got a tree stand, you got your hands full. The keyless entry, you don't have to touch the truck, just walk in, open the door. So that's really good convenience for deer hunters. So that's some of the advantages to that truck tent and some of the disadvantages, obviously. So you can go online, take a look at it for yourself. But for me, this is the direction I'm going to go in, and I'm going to try this out. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some deer on the ground this year, and hopefully we'll get some down early. As far as putting the tent up, a couple of recommendations I would make is always push the poles through. You can't pull them, they'll come apart. I figured that out. You might want to read the instructions first. I started guessing at things. I got a few things right, but then I went back and wanted to make sure I was getting the poles right. I didn't want to break any poles. So push the poles through, make sure they don't snag. Make sure the pockets are loose. You don't want to tear anything. Get them even on each side. That way when you put them in the pockets, the bend points will be where they need to be. Obviously it's designed with certain curves. Same for the straps. Put the straps in the correct location and leave a little slack in them. Tighten it up later on because that gives you an opportunity to adjust the tent. I don't know if you saw on there, but the tent was kind of crooked on my truck. So I had to loosen up a couple of the straps and then reposition it. So make sure all the straps are loose, get everything the way you want it, and then go back and you can snug it down. It's just some of the things that I found out today while I was putting it together. And I would highly recommend putting it up, taking it down a couple of times or at least once before you go camping. You don't want to do this at, right 30 minutes before dark and be fumbling around at night trying to get everything done. So it worked out pretty good. So we're pumped up about being able to take this tent out and utilizing it to do some hunting. We'll be coming up with some strategies or tactics of being able to more effectively scout the area virtually. Then when you get boots on the ground, it's just boom, 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 and you can get set up without spooking the deer. So we're hoping that works out really well for us this year. So don't forget to subscribe. I hope you like this video, and we'll see you next time.